Hi, my name is Brooke Raulerson. I'm here with Floral Greens Farmers of Florida. And as you can see, I am starting a new video with showing you how to do leatherleaf and how to add it to your arrangements. But I am in a leatherleaf fernery actually, and you can see how amazing it is. I never knew that leatherleaf grew this big. If you can see just how tall this is, and the stems are amazing. They go all the way down to the bottom of the ground. They're huge. So it's amazing for me as a florist to be able to see leatherleaf this large, this long, and just really appreciate so much more about the fern as you see it grow, and really kind of appreciate how we should be using this in our arrangements. You know, when I'm looking at the fern that's growing in the farm, it's, you know, sporadic. It's not one pattern which way or the other. It's not all facing out. There's new growth. There's little elements to it that are just really cool, like the spores on the back of the leatherleaf are really unique and different. You've got new foliage, which is kind of the brighter green color that you can kind of see throughout the farm, that's just kind of popping up on the tips. Just kind of lightly dust all of the ferns with a new growth. And it's just something really refreshing to be able to see all of this new growth and leatherleaf in its natural environment. So when I get leatherleaf in my shop, you know, it's bunched flat down something along the lines of this. And this actually we just cut from the farm, so it's really nice and fresh. And you know, leatherleaf grows and lasts a very long time. So what I'm going to show you is how I like to use leatherleaf. And we've had leatherleaf around forever. I mean, it is the staple of the floral industry, especially the cut floral greens. For almost everything. We see it everywhere. And so many times we use it just by itself. And we can add so much more to it by mixing it with the other types of foliages. But one of the things that I see so often is so many people almost in a way, maybe as a way disrespecting the foliage. But I want to show you here just how long these stems are and how you can make the stems even longer. Obviously in the flower shop, we don't always get the stems this long. So if you pull the bottom stems pieces off the ends, you get a really beautiful smaller leaf. That way the greenery like this that grows off the side is not underwater. And so many times I'll see the greenery like this and it's cut off, and then this part right here is in the neck of the vase, and that shouldn't happen because this is really not respecting the foliage itself. So what I'm going to do is show you how I would typically lace this leatherleaf. And I'm just going to pull off the bottom pieces and leave the beautiful tips to it. And then I just lay it one over the other at an angle and work its way out where the tips are all facing outwards. And you can get this beautiful kind of hand-tied effect with the leather. I'm still breaking off the bottom pieces. But as you can see here, I'm starting to make this star shape. And then working out a little bit larger with the larger pieces and the larger pieces. So then that way when I put this in my vase, you can see here, these are already laced together and there is no greenery that should be under the water. Now, if you're using your leatherleaf to actually hold up your flowers, really we should be using another type of foliage because it breaks the stems right here and then prevents the stem from drinking water. So when I'm using my leatherleaf, I like to use like a base of variegated aspidistra, the weeping podocarpus, the ligustrum, all of these things. And then what I like to do is accent with my leatherleaf and just place those pieces on the tips. So you're not using that as the armature or the grid of your arrangement. These are used as accent pieces so that I can make something really beautiful, and that leather just pops out of the side. It just flows over the side of the vase. And you can see how all the tips are pointing out of the arrangement. So also when I cut off the bottom leaves, when I go to place my flowers in there, it's not going to break the edges of the foliage and push it underwater. As you can see, if I gather this up, there's no foliage under the water level. So everything is very clean. It keeps your water clean. It makes your flowers last longer. You have a nice clean cut to the foliage and the flowers so that they're very well hydrated. So I'm going to add in a little bit more of different types of foliages. So I've got Plumosa. And I'm just going to lift that up and then place my Plumosa right underneath it. I want the leatherleaf really to show off, so I'm not going to try to cover that. When I cut it, I'm going to separate the leatherleaf that I just put in here, put my greenery in between it, and then make sure that that leather is actually really beautiful and really standing out above my other foliages that I used as the base. As you can imagine, it's very hot out here, which is great for all of the Florida foliages. Not so great for the Floridians designing in the field. But you can see the mixed foliages right here kind of give me a really beautiful, unique arrangement, and I haven't even gotten to the flowers yet. Now keep in mind that your foliages last much longer than your flowers, so you have added value when your flowers die off and they've expired and you still have a beautiful greenery arrangement. That's just kind of like the bonus, that you've got something that's going to live longer than expected, and you get to enjoy even a beautiful, unique design, something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one type of flower, and I've got some beautiful kind of dusty mauve Lisianthus, and I'm just going to add these accent blooms in here at a height. Now keep in mind, Lisianthus is a very thin stem, so normally you would need like floral foam or some type of really taped structure or something that's going to hold that up. But as you can see here, I'm using Lisianthus straight into the greenery, so there's no additional need for other types of mechanics like taping or floral foam or anything like that. And they're very stable. I'm placing one straight through the center of it. I am removing the foliage, just like any flower. You're going to remove the foliage from the stem. But watch how I just place this into the arrangement and it stays. It stays exactly where I just put it. And that is just by using the proper amount of greenery in your arrangements to where it made a grid. As I place more stems in here, I'm just going to go high and low with the blooms. I'm using all of the foliages, and anything that's below the water level, I'm removing the foliage from the stem of the flower and from the greenery to make sure that there is no foliage below the water level. It should be only stems. This is super important. So here again, I've got your arrangement. And if I lift this up and show you, look at all pure stems right here. There's no foliage below the water line, which makes your arrangements last so much longer. So I have a few more pieces of Lisianthus. This is just one bunch of Lisianthus that I'm adding in here. And I'm going to add a few more pieces of leather just to accent with in certain areas and to really create that shape that I really want this arrangement to be. Maybe a couple more pieces that are a little bit longer on this side. Look at that. Isn't that amazing how long the stem is? So the extra large leatherleaf, which I could actually purchase like that from my supplier, I can get this more dramatic look to it. So definitely a mixed green arrangement, something that is very interesting, something people would enjoy. Then I have all the pieces that I broke off the bottom pieces of the leatherleaf. These pieces like this that can be used for smaller vases arrangements, little bud vases or bottles, or a completely new arrangement. So as you can see, there's no waste with leatherleaf. You can use every stem of it, every piece of it. The stems are very hardy. We've used the stems for other things before, but this will give you a very dramatic look for not a whole lot of money. So leatherleaf is something that can give you a very fern, delicate design. So here with this arrangement, you can see that the fern coming out and leaving the stems longer, the Lisianthus aspidistra, everything is giving you added value. So you've made a very large arrangement with less products. You've got a half bunch of this, a half bunch of that. Before you know it, you've got this beautiful mixed arrangement. But just by adding one piece of leatherleaf and it's coming out here and one out here, you've made this arrangement twice the size that it was if you just kept everything short. So as you can see with this style design, that you can just add maybe like a few hydrangea to this or a few roses, and you've got this beautiful, very valuable arrangement that a consumer or even yourself can enjoy for a very long time.